All right, everyone, the topic for the next session is Reimagining Trade Finance, how digital public infrastructure can empower MSMEs and global trade. For the same, I would request the moderator to join on the stage, Mr. Anish Chowdhary, Chief Business Officer, IBDIC. Let's have a huge round of applause.
We'll stand here.
And now I would request speakers to join on the stage, Mr. Ashish.
No, wait.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
First of all, congratulations to all of you who navigated tough security and a huge traffic. So let's give an applause to all of us. Thank you so much for being there on time. वो कहते हैं ना जब कई हाथ मिलते हैं तो इतिहास बनता है. And with immense pride and joy, I wanted to welcome all of you, dignitaries from the bank, regulators, and my dear colleagues. We stand here on a proud and a momentous occasion to celebrate yet another milestone in the journey of Indian Bank Digital Infrastructure Company, IBDIC. As all of us know that India is marching towards becoming the third largest, biggest economy, and export expected to reach about 1 trillion by 2030, and we are standing at the crossroads. The decisions we take, the systems we build, and the collaboration we forge here will shape the very future of global trade.
Indeed, Manpreet, and that is the reason we are out here for this marquee event, which should be a milestone of a launch for the future of this nation and in the cross-global cooperation that we are talking about. Trade is a very important fulcrum for the growth of any economy, for the Viksit Bharat. And that's why we are out here to take that step and do a very, very important launch. Thanks, Manpreet. She is the head of HR for IBDIC. She is driving people culture. And with her, Anish Chowdhary, the Chief Business Officer. Without much ado, we shall invite our guests of honor. Mind you, these are people who have taken a lot of trouble to be here, and we are really, really thankful for your precious time and importance that you have given to us. We have with us, may I request, Sri Vishwanathan ji, the ex-Deputy Governor of RBI, a veteran banker, 4 decades of policy shaping. Sir, if you may join us for the launch. May I request Sri Atul Goel ji, the Chief Executive of Indian Banks Association, veteran banker leading the transformation and drive across various public sector banks, sir. May I request Dr. Praveen Kumar ji, he is the joint DGFT and driving the trade piece for the country. Please, sir. May I request our Chief Executive Officer, Ashish Singhal, veteran banker and a technology enthusiast. Please. So, there is a launch, and I would request all of you, see, this is not just about the ones who are here, but once all of you here. May I all request you to participate with this? There are 4 unlocking things, so I'll request each of our guests to, and Ashish, to place their palm here so that we can unlock this entire product.
Now we are going to see what's
Yes, please.
there in store.
All right, let's see. Yes. Scanning. Yeah,
you can
thank
move
you.
your hands, please.
Good start. Can we have a round of applause, please? Come on.
And now
Thank you.
we're going to take a minute to see what the story has been behind. There is a 3-minute AV video
Please,
which will
have a
show
seat.
you how the journey has been so far. What do you?
Have a seat.
From ancient roots to platform. Introducing IBDIC's
Can we have a louder round of applause, please?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So at every stage of this journey, from idea to execution, there is countless support, strategic guidance, and tireless effort that has been the driving force behind today's milestone. We are proud and honored to bring and call out individuals who have been part of this journey. Next, I would like to call upon all the member banks and to do a plaque unveiling ceremony here. So before that,
we are actually, as you know, IBDIC is a consortium with 18 banks, and we have been doing a series of workshops and engagements with all of them to reach a certain stage. And we are very proud to have with us these 7 institutions who are our member banks going as part of the first cohort of this one trade. So thank you so much to all these 7 institutions. There have been umpteen number of people who have been working on this. It would be remiss on our part if we do not thank them all, but it's practically impossible given the time clock that the GFF team has set on us. But there are some representatives we would like to call upon as a token of appreciation for the whole team. So without much ado, may I request from Bank of Baroda, and let me also give a disclaimer, there's a 1 kilometer long queue out there. We do not know if some of them have really been able to make it. There are constant calls. We really thank them and apologize for the inconvenience, but that's the way it is. But let's read out, and I request from Bank of Baroda, KV Sheetalji, the CGM, if you are here, ma'am, please.
Please be on the stage, ma'am.
If you can come on the stage, please. May I request Abel Vijay Anandji, the head of Trade and Forex, if you are managed to be here, sir. Look, he's still stuck in traffic. My apologies. Can we have Devji Das? I think he had to turn away. He was stuck long back. From HDFC, do we have anyone else from his team who has managed to reach here? Anyone from HDFC? I think they're all stuck there. I'm sorry. We've got ICICI. May I request Mr. Hitesh Sachdeva, who is the head of investment startup. No needs for introduction, please. May I request from IndusInd Bank, Mr. Mohit Jain, the head transaction banking group, and Mr. Vineet Sharma, the head trade products, to join us, please. May I request from IDFC, Mr. Paritosh Mathur, head of wholesale banking, to kindly join us. Paritosh, if you're around, please do join us. From SBI, I'm not sure if you've been able to make it, sir. Ravi Kumar ji, the CGM. Sir, if you are here. Chindari Babu.
Would request you to please be on
from
the stage.
SBI and Mr. Keshavan. Sir.
And I would also request
From SBI, I think we met. Sir, please, sir. Please come.
And I would also request Rishabh from our organization and Ravi Malane, head of trade finance. Please be on the stage,
Mr.
please.
Suresh from Bank of Baroda is here. Sir, please. From Union Bank of India, Anil Kurilji just called. He's not been able to make it. He's stuck. Anybody else from UBI who's been able to make it here? Please, aiye. Ashish ji, please come.
Welcome, sir.
Prasad ji, I saw, we met.
Please come, sir.
From SBI, Mr. Vikram Thakur ji, can I? Yes, please. Please. Rishabh. And all right, so thank you so much. And we also have two very interesting network partners, because as we build this ecosystem, it's not just about banking, but it's also about bringing together whole ecosystem. So we have our network partner from ICICI Lombard, Mr. Manish Rai, who's the head of digital alliances. Manish, can you please come up? And may I also request 6.3 Technologies, Sheetal Jain, the founder and CEO. Ms. Sheetal, if you can please come up. Can we have a louder round of applause? Come on, it's a short event. Please, Manish. Please.
Loud smile.
Thank
For
you.
picture, cameraman, please capture this moment. Audience can clap. Thank you.
Mr. Rajesh Kumar from SBI, is he here? So, okay. All right, I'll here.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so
And
much.
behind every big ideas, there is a team
Thank
of
you.
passionate individuals who have actually worked
Thank you.
tiring amount
Thank
of
you. Thank you.
hours
Thank you
which
so much.
they have
Thank you.
given.
Thank you.
Thank
you so
them.
much. Thank you, Manish.
I'm going to call out all those part of this journey and stand where they are.
So, quick shout out. We are just calling out some names of people who have worked on this from IBDIC. Go on. Take my mic. No, it's not working.
Not working. I think it's working. Okay. So may I request, so we call them One Trade Warriors. And I'm going to take out the names of the One Trade Warriors who I would request them to please rise on their seats as we acknowledge them. Vivek Kumar, Sapan Harimohan, Deepshika Singh,
please, round of applause
Ravindra
for all of them,
Rathod,
please.
Mukund
Just wave.
Kakkar, Jiten Shah, Kamta Prasad, Jitesh Nagaria, Sonali Ram Sundar, Sarita Sharma, and Sagar Satpute. Please stand. Please ensure that your hard work is recognized and we believe in your passion. So please, a big round of applause to all of them. Can you guys please wave your hands so that we can all see the One Trade Warriors?
Credits.
And thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. And now my co-host is going to excite the next 45 minutes with a very fireside chat with our very esteemed panel. I hope he makes it engaging and keep all us hooked. So over to you, Anish.
Thank you so much, Manpreet. I don't need to make it engaging when I have such an august panel with me. The pressure is all on me to ensure that we are able to do justice to such an august company. Well, none of them need an introduction, but let me just quickly start. On my extreme left, we have Dr. Praveen Kumar, who is the joint DGFT, veteran in the space of trade finance, and he's also a doctor by profession. He started with that, right, before he joined the civil services. Shri Atul Goel ji, who is Chief Executive of Indian Banks Association and a veteran banker, been the MD with multiple banks, driven policy and transformation and businesses, of course. We have Shri Vishwanathan ji, the ex-Deputy Governor of RBI, 4 decades of experience with the central bank, and you have seen the entire life cycle of how the liberalization and post the country has evolved. We've got Ashish Singhal, the Chief Executive Officer of IBDIC, veteran banker himself and a great technology and digital enthusiast. So without much ado, the topic that we are speaking about, I think this is marking a milestone of beginning this journey of what we mean by reimagining trade finance. As a country, we have seen the power that UPI has yielded. It's a global benchmark for the country. And as India progresses and builds digital public infrastructure, we are looking at big change. So my first question to Sri Vishwanathan ji is, sir, that while we have done so much on the trade transform, on all these DPI parts, etc., how do you see this evolving? This entire one trade piece, as we saw about building the digital railroads for India, and then there's a Bharat Trade Network which will evolve. So how do you see this coming together as far as the vision of the government is concerned and RBI is concerned? How do you see that playing out? What are your thoughts around that?
Thank you for having me here at the outset. I just want to spend a couple of minutes on what DPI itself is. It's very important because digital public infrastructure is a fundamental requirement to improve transactions, ease transactions, and reach financial services to the last mile. So if you look at what you have as part of the DPI today, the Aadhaar, okay, the mobile telephony, and the account aggregator system, which kind of becomes part of the DPI stack, they have enabled reaching financial services to the last mile. If anybody wants to open an account, it's no more a problem. Okay, RBI built on it, even enabled what is called as digital video KYC. I mean, one had to actually go to a bank. It was because facilitated by this backbone of data that RBI could do that. So what happens with the digital public infrastructure is that it enables reaching financial services to the last mile. Now, when it comes to trade, and when it comes to international trade, all the more, the small and medium sector, the micro, small, and medium sector are key player in the export segment. And ease of access to credit, ease of trade for them is very crucial for two reasons. One, it makes cost of providing services that much cheaper, number one. And two, it makes access to services that much easier. So I think if I look at the whole panorama, how things are emerging, we have a situation where we have, of course, a payment system, huge payment, fantastic payment system that we are talking today. We also have a lending framework today. But when it comes to international trade, it's still quite behind. And what you need to do is that today on the international trade network, you have what is called as, or in the international trade system, you have data which are in multiple silos. You need data that talk to each other, because the fundamental principle of DPI is interoperability. Fundamental principle of DPI is also its scalability. Okay, and you can start small, but ability for you to scale is important. And it's equally important. I think it's important to look at what is UPI. UPI, you have the database, you have the mobile telephony, you have the NPCI, which is providing, is a kind of a regulator, okay, right. Soft regulator of sorts, okay. But it is harnessed by a lot of private sector enterprises. Okay, so this is what I see, and therefore I look at this initiative, as an important step in repeating again ease of access to credit. And I think another element which I want to add at this point in time is reliability. Somebody talked of trust, right? I mean, the earlier panel was talking of trust. And what does trust do? A DPI will make sure of authentication. So an interesting DPI that is emerging today is what is called as the information utilities under the IBC. It provides information about debt of various individuals and enables resolution under IBC much easier. That's the kind of power that any DPI can have. I'm really glad that we are thinking on those names, filling a big void that I see in this segment. Huge potential, but there's a lot of, what do you call, important things that happen. You have technical service providers, happy 7 banks have come on board, a lot more have to happen. Last is this need for recognition. See, if you look at again, the recognition could be hard, like a law under when it came to UIDI for the, what do you call, Aadhaar, or soft, like NPCI being seen as a regulator of sorts, quasi-regulator of sorts, which is recognized. And one of the important DPIs today, elements of DPI's data stack, as I said, is the account aggregator. It provides access to credit for people who do not have any credit history. And that again has been enabled through a regulatory framework for establishment of account aggregator. So I think the larger principle I'm trying to tell is these are the kind of elements that will push forward any DPI. And I see this one trade as a big, I won't call it a baby step, it's a big step in creating a superb digital infrastructure for facilitating trade in general and international trade in particular.
So thanks for laying down the framework for this, which brings me to Sri Atulji, that banks will play a very crucial role to run this entire piece from a trade credit or finance perspective. From an IBA lens, there's been a lot of initiatives and a lot of back and forth has happened with the industry. What do you think are the key challenges that banks face today to improve the trade competitiveness and trade finance infrastructure per se? According to you, what are the key challenges the banks face?
Good morning to everybody. Thank you for inviting me for this panel also. Lot has been done. As Mr. Viswanathan has told about the DPI, what is the purpose of the DPI? Basically, it is a digitally how everybody can access to the credit and the cost of credit also. The international trade is something different. If you talk about the domestic trade also, even for talk about the MSME also. So first, I think because we have the vision of the 2047, where we want to make India as a developed country. So I think, in my opinion, banker can play the role of the anchor. And second is the MSME financing also. Because why MSME is needed? Because if you see as on date also, they are contributing 30% to the GDP, 45% to the export. When we are talking about the trade, the 45% they are contributing, and most important, the government is the employment also. 6 crore unit providing the 27 crore employment as per the data. So a lot has been done. In my opinion also, you have asked 2 questions, what IBA is doing and what is the bottleneck also for the trade. Because Mr. Viswanathan has also covered, domestic lot have been done. But international, he is very much right, when we talk about the digital also. So there is as far as IBA is concerned, the export progress mission, EPM, that we are working on that. Those we are doing only 2 things. How to increase the trade finance basically. And second, not only the trade finance, even how we can help to assess the global market also. So in my opinion, when we are talking about this, there is one challenge regarding this law also, which very recently I was discussing Mr. Bongo also, MLETR. Yes. Because the MLETR, the model of the electronic transformation record, as on date, I think there is some challenges also. Because domestic, as far as domestic is concerned, there is no much challenge for this, because it is basically replacing the paper to the electronic. Like talk about the promissory note, whatever we are seeing, even the document also. Domestic, I think there is no issue as on date, but internationally, for adoption of this, there is some challenges also. So as IB also, we are working on that, what is the legal as well as the regulatory challenge. So we are in the talk to the various ministries also, whether the Ministry of Commerce, whether the Ministry of the METI also, even for DPID. So we are evaluating also. So how the electronic use should be sometimes like a paper also. So this is, I think, one of the challenges on there when we are talking about the digital also. So we are working on that also. So I do not think, but actually we have to create the awareness also. When we are talking about the, because I told you that 45% is the contribution of the export to the MSME also. And for this particularly, because 45, even the lot of has been done for the MSME also. If you take, so you permit me 2-3 minutes also, because the definition has already been changed for the MSME, because that is the main thing. If we want to achieve the 2047, even the Uddhami also, because then Uddhami assess also. Because for the small unit, they are not in a position, that is also been, even the CGTMS coverage has been increased to 5 to 10, because when finance will be available, then we can talk about the international trade also. First is the requirement of the raw material for them, the amount also. So, and even the other thing also, if you see this, most importantly, because Mr. Viswanathan told about the assess also. Assess really, if we want to achieve, that cannot be done without the DPI also, the digital. Even in the 2024 budget, there was an announcement for the how the PSB can develop their own credit model. So I think 2025, each and every PSB has created the digital credit assessment model through digital footprint. So it is providing ease of the credit also, and available, even the customer can go on this portal. They can online apply. There is no requirement of the visit also. The moment we will reduce the lot of improvement in the TAT etc. already been done. So there is a further need of the create of the awareness also to use such type of the model. So this is my issue.
So I think those are very, very practical suggestions in terms of what we will take, which brings me to Praveenji, to you. Sir, if you can explain to the audience, I think everyone has heard about the Bharat Trade Network in the budget, and now in one sense, we are moving forward with that, right? And one trade marks one of the first milestones, maybe if I may put it that way. What is the vision of the government and of DGFT particularly in terms of BharatNet? And if you can just explain.
Thank you, Anish. Thank you for having me here. So DGFT has been spearheading this creation of a trade finance ecosystem since some years. And to give you some background, we noticed somewhere around 2016-17 that the problem of documentation is mostly seen also for the e-commerce exports, because there are small players, they are working in hinterlands, and they are good at making their product, but when it comes to international transactions, be it payments, be it getting an LC or opening or negotiating with the banks, they were stuck. And there we thought that there should be a digital, easy, approachable system wherein these exporters could also come in and join in. And since then, RBI also, we have been talking with RBI, a lot of regulations have been eased. Only recently, around 7 days back, the EDPMS data entry system has been relaxed, and for people who are there from the banking industry, from the MSMEs, I would use this platform to announce that less than 10 lakhs per entry, you can just go to your AD bank and get your queries for the EDPMS or import data system entries closed without any further compliance checks and documentation. So you can see over time we have, we in the government believe that exporters and MSMEs, their prime focus should be to develop a product which is of a standard which can beat the world standards, and minimum of their time should be, invested in going to different regulatory agencies, be it DGFT, be it customs, be it banks, be it their own local state governments. So with that vision in mind, I believe this launch of One Trade, which is probably a part of the larger DPI infrastructure which we are building. So the grand idea, as Anish, you told me to sum it up, is that we want to create not islands, we want to create an ocean wherein there are easy movement between different islands, and they are all internally they are connected. So it's like I can develop a module for my regulation. For example, if I take the example of DGFT, it is very easy for the DGFT to create a model or for a model and online module which will help the MSMEs. But would that module talk to a similar module probably made by banks? And whether that can talk to a logistic provider, or whether that module can talk to an international supplier or a buyer. So the idea here is that the essence of this DPI is it should be functionally interoperable, and there should not be any lock-ins. So lock-in typically, so suppose you buy I don't want to name any brand, but if you buy an Apple iPhone, you are like logged into that. You may not use multiple apps which are there on the Android platform. So that lock-in is not there in DPI. So that is the vision. We should not have any lock-in. It should be freely operable. We are just building the rails with some regulatory framework all around, wherein all your plugins, models, they can all plug in to have a seamless experience for a real user, which is the MSME and exporter. So the other thing is, so we talked about MSMEs a lot here. Only 14% of trade finance credit is now been, the penetration of trade finance is only 14% for MSMEs. So why is this hesitancy? If we really understand it, it's because there is nobody at the MSME who can individually take care of all the bank and regulatory processes, because the regulations keep on changing. So MSMEs would rather not take trade finance than to fall into some regulatory trap. So that hesitancy will go away once we have a seamless online authentication system, wherein the agencies also know that, okay, this MSME is a bona fide exporter, he has no malicious intent, his credit worthiness is on record for the last 3-4 years. If somebody is working in a domestic market very efficiently for the last 5 years and he needs some export credit for a shipment which he has just received, why should he submit all the documents of the last 5 years again to some agency? Why should it not be there at a data lake which is accessible by all these guardrails? So these are the broad concepts, and the ideal is obviously in the next 5-6 years, it should be as easy as an app which we use on our daily lives, be it Aadhaar authentication for digital signatures, be it DigiYatra. So the idea is that in the next 5 years, the MSMEs are able to use it as conveniently as they are using these larger apps.
I get goosebumps when I hear it will be as simple for MSMEs, right? That's the final vision. But Ashish, quickly on to you. In terms of IBDIC and one trade, right? How do you see this playing out over the next few months and years? And how is IBDIC working with DGFT to build the Bharat Trade Network?
So I think great piece. Thanks everyone for joining in for this. And IBDIC is born out of collaboration, and I'm glad that all the panelists have said in one way or the other that collaboration is more important, because that's the ecosystem which has to come together. Because otherwise, like Praveerji mentioned, we'll all create islands with no connectivity between the islands. So IBDIC, working along with the DGFT and all the ecosystem partners, whether it's bank, whether it's insurance companies, logistics provider, government agencies, the idea is to create a well-connected, interoperable ecosystem. And the good piece is that on the day one when we are launching in, we have 7 banks. And I remember last year when we launched Invoice Hub, it was only private sector banks. So I'm very happy that public sector banks are part of the piece today, because they are a large consumer base of owners, and India cannot move forward without their support and cooperation. Plus we have an insurance company, we have fintechs. So the idea is that anybody and everybody who's connected with the trade ecosystem, whether it be fintechs who might develop some small modules or large modules, everybody should get connected together and then achieve that goal of $2 trillion of exports by 2030. That's really, and we will just play the orchestration layer so that we enable this entire infrastructure.
But in terms of orchestration and enablement, I think one of the things that Sir Vishwanathan, sir, you mentioned that you laid on a beautiful framework, right, from regulatory to building blocks. One of the things that I want to ask you is that, and on a lighter note, but also on a serious note, right, when you drive collaboration, you need platforms. Right? Now, we have the Global FinTech Festival, which is all about fintechs and great work that's happening, but it's general purpose. You have CIBOS, and you have GTR and various other international forums. I don't think India has any forum which is, the trade and supply chain guys, MSME guys are the neglected children, if I may put it that way. Do you think India should have a forum like that?
It should have, for sure. And I think the reason why it has not evolved, it's been evolution. Let's be very clear. The GFF did not happen overnight. GFF happened because fintech became an important, industry sector in India. I mean, that India can be proud of globally. Okay, it's a chain of, sequential chain, and you don't know what's the cost, what's the effect. Okay, so I think Mr. Goel mentioned about it, which is that if you want this OneNet and BharatNet to later work, to TradeNet, the only way it can happen is through education and spreading this information. So whether it should be a global forum or should it be first a domestic forum that gets elsewhere, I do not know. But yes, if you ask me, there is a need for bringing all the stakeholders who are going to use this platform going forward and benefit from it. And the platform benefits from it by their using it. Okay, so I think if you ask me, I do support a framework where that, what you call interaction, collaboration is established, number one.
Right.
And I'm sure as it goes forward, this will become like UPI has become what Globe wants to imitate, if I may say so, or adopt within the rest of the world. What we are doing might be something that others want to imitate. That's when it becomes global. So a platform for interaction, collaboration, no two ways. Global, maybe not yet, but you get there. You're going to get there if you first bring all the stakeholders. And as I said in my opening remarks, the reason for why we don't have it is that we do not have today, what you have is for a payment system, you have a lending system, but you do not have for the trade.
Right.
And you bring them together, a GFF equivalent for trade will evolve on its own. You don't have to work for it.
Right. Do we have the audience supporting this? Should we have a forum like this? Can we have a loud yes or a no? Yes. Can't hear you, doesn't show the enthusiasm. Yes. All right, thank you. Sir, to you, the question is like, words of advice for us, like as IBDIC, what's the role you see us playing with One Trade now being launched and Bharat Trade Network? Any words of wisdom, both from IBA perspective and your own past experience?
No, you are doing a great job, Mr. What Ashish has told also. And I was discussing Praveenji also, ki what is the vision of the BharatNet Trade also, because you are the one of the partner going with the DGFT also. So it is a basically roadmap you have to create, what Mr. Viswanathan has told also. And I think the role of the IBDIC is the how you can provide the financial service to the last mile at a reasonable cost. That also you have to work. And most importantly, like when we are talking about the invoicing, etc., which I discussed with Ashish also, there is some chances that there is some duplication is also being. So I think that is a great job you have already created, the repository of the invoices also. Repository of the invoices, if anybody is taking the finance against the invoice also, so if there is a chances ki it can be multiple finance, it will be first recorded in your platform also. So the time of the possibility of the duplication can be avoided, and we are working on that. From the IBA side, we have already debated last time in the last MC also, and we are going to advise to all our bank also. If you are using, because trades it is impossible. Trades, all these 7, they are talking each other. But any other platform where they are getting the finance, they are not talking to each other. So there is a possibility also, we have got some information also. So that will be a very good thing. So ultimately you are doing great job for your company is doing, because it's promoted by the bank also. So in last also I would like to, how you can further help the bank also to provide the financial assistance to the last mile as a cheapest cost and as well as the better choice also.
Sure. Thank you so much. Now we are running out of time, unfortunately. This needs a longer discussion. I'm sure we'll come back to that. But just one word, from you before we wrap up is one line, one final thought in terms of Bharat Trade Network and this vision for IBDIC. Any thoughts about it?
Yes, we'll quote a very oft-quoted sentence by our Honorable PM. For fintech, यही समय है, सही समय है. This is the time.
Wonderful.
So if you log on to the bandwagon now, if you are an MSME, if you are an exporter, use these platforms, because if you start using it, the scale will be built up. Then these platforms will over time improve. Then by the very sheer economic size of our country, these platforms will be then adopted by other countries, which will make your life easier. So, just to say it again, yahi samay hai, sahi samay hai.
That's a wonderful parting line. Of course, we promise you to come back with a longer thing. I'm sure that it's not fulfilled. But with this, I would request if we can, give a small token of appreciation to our guests who have
moment of appreciation, please.
just to give a perspective, Sri Atul Goel ji came right early in the morning, 8 o'clock. Vishwanathan ji has come all the way from Nagaland for this, and both of them are going back, flying down.
Thank you very much, sir, for being part of this.
Praveen ji, please. Praveen ji has been kind enough to make time with a busy schedule. So, can we have
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Round of applause
We'll
for
take a
everyone, please. And before we part, let's take a selfie. May I request the photographers to come here? Can we take the
Selfie
picture
of the
with
audience
entire
as well.
hall, please?
Yeah.